All right, so this is a continuation of the Nash presentation. So as I mentioned, first you should watch the Beautiful Mind and then watch the lecture of Nash. Now this one is the final part of the three-part idea. No? So this is the introduction to game theory. Particularly, we will now look into what we call the Nash equilibrium. Ito yung panalo sa kanya, guys, dun sa Nobel Prize. Well, the foundation of it, by the way. So yan, introduction to game theory. We can look at market situation with two players, typically firms. No? So usually in yung classical economics, we have two players, two firms, or sometimes two countries. Although we will look at situation where each player can make only one or two decisions, this theory easily extends to three or more decisions. So simplistically, para lang siyang two decisions, X, Y axis. Kasi nga, classical, refers to classical economics, X, Y axis lang. No? 2D plane. Diba? Guns or butter. Mga ganun yung example ng classical economics eh. Demand, supply, right? Well, in reality, alala ko to when this was tackled in our complex variables class. So the teacher mentioned something about even if you see the space as two-dimensional, in reality, it is multi-dimensional. So parang he lets us imagine not only 3D, di ba? Parang, how many dimensions are there? So sabi ko syempre nun, 3D, three dimensions, di ba? Length, width, and height. But he said something like, no, in reality, there are multiple dimensions more than that. So if you will look at complex variables, you can even imagine three, four, five, six, seven dimensions or z dimensions. So where z means any integer at all, you know. So yeah, yan yung idea niya, no? So because of that, you can easily make a case whereby yung nandito, no? Not only two decisions but many decisions. Kaya siya naging very critical, no? In decision sciences, particularly in negotiation, trade, di ba? Because of uh, the situation that it tries to solve. Okay, so remember John Nash. Also, we mentioned about him. He was portrayed in The Beautiful Mind. He was one of the early researchers in game theory. So we mentioned that already sa previous nating presentation. His work resulted in a form of equilibrium named after him. So remember, see, game theory was not really started by John Nash, but he was there at the very beginning. See, Max von Neumann was one of the teachers in the university where he studied, right? So it must have left a very long-lasting mark in his brain, in his mind. That's why kanyang dissertation paper, no? He made use of that idea, game theory. So in every game or in every situation, in every negotiation, there are three elements. No? So players is number one. Two or more for most games that are interesting. Players. Kaya nga ito ay naging foundation din ng game theory. So there are players. So dito sa example natin, we'll just feature two. Kasi it's quite difficult, if not near impossible to show many players and then many actions. No? But it's very much possible in real world. So, and then there is the second element of the strategy available to each player. So, meaning, meron siyang action na pwedeng gawin. Action 1, action 2. Ito, mas makikita nyo to malinaw sa decision sciences. Like, to do this or to do that. Uh, to be or not to be. Diba? To create or sa atin sa investment o to invest in mutual funds, balance fund or to invest in equity funds, 'di ba? Maraming strategies eh. Kaya hindi lang siya dalawa. So dito sa example natin, again, dalawa lang siya. Okay? And then with each of the action, there is such a thing as payoff. So parang yung payoff would be yung makukuha mong result, di ba? Um, payout, no? Income, let's say, no? Based on your decision and the decision of others. So I think yan yung pinaka mas importante doon. In fact, in the in the Beautiful Mind, di ba? He mentioned something about he was actually trying to correct the idea of Adam Smith na hindi naman, yung parang the common good when you are trying to create for your own self, for your own benefit. He's saying na merong intended and merong unintended action of your action which also affects other people, other players in the game, so to speak. So we will go now to the payoff matrix so that you will understand. Guys, medyo ano to medyo uh, sabihin na sophisticated, but it's not something that you would easily understand applied to real life. So, yun lang ang masasabi ko. Ayan, no? So, ito yung game theory, the payoff matrix. So, look at person 1, yung nasa left side, in blue color. And then person 2, yung color red. And then, meron silang action. So, dito, ang point is that if person 1, ginawa niya yung action A, it will lead to 10 payout. So, let's say, kunwari, isipin natin na $10,000. Pag ginawa niya yung action A, at si person 2 ginawa yung action C, he gets 10,000, let's say, 10. And then, person 2 gets 2,000. If he does action A and person 2 does action D, he gets only 8 while si person 2 will get 3. Okay? Yun ang idea niyan. On the other hand, pag tiningnan niya kinuha niya yung action B, person 1 gets 12, let's say $12,000, while pag action C ginawa ni person 2, no? Pero pag ginawa ni person 1 ang action B and person 2 chooses action D, he gets only 10 while person 2 gets 1. Okay? So this is how a payoff matrix looks like, and it shows the payout of each player given the decision of each player and the other player. Yun ang idea niyan. So I hope it's clear. So how do we interpret the box? So yung first person, the first number in each box determines the payout of person 1. O yun yung kulay blue, no? The second number naman is the payout for person number 2. Ayun yung red. Yan. So example, if person 1, sinabi na natin ito kanina, no? If person 1 chooses action A and person 2 action D, then person 1 receives a payout of 8 and person 2 receives a payout of 3. Ganon siya. No? Okay? Now, let's look at the core principle, the equilibrium. So, dito na yan medyo a little complicated in a way. So, this type of equilibrium we're looking for is what we call the NE or the Nash equilibrium. So, in Nash equilibrium, according to the book, no, is any combination of strategies in which each player's strategy is his or her best choice given the other player's choices. Ayan, yan ang Nash equilibrium, no? So, kumbaga, any combination of strategy na yung best choice ng isang player given the other player's choice. So, exactly, sabi second, no? Exactly one person deviating from an NE strategy would result in the same payout or even lower payout for that person. So, ang point nila dito is that if you deviate from NE, then it will result actually in either same payout or a lower payout for that person. Okay? So, test natin yan. So, how do we find the Nash equilibrium? So, pretend you are one of the players. Okay? Yan ang step 1. Okay? Step number 2, assume that your opponent picks a particular action. So, kinoconsider mo yung opponent mo o yung kalaro mo o yung kasama sa negotiation Determine your best strategy or strategies given your opponent's action. So, i-underline mo yung any best choice in the payoff matrix. And then, step number 4, you repeat steps 2 and 3 for any opponent's strategies. Of course, in this case, two options lang, kaya madali, no? Pero sa tunay na buhay, ang dami niya, no? Multiple choices yan. And same for you, multiple din, no? And then, hindi lang kayo dalawa, marami kayo, no? Maraming players sa market, no? Marami kayong competitor. So you will also, step number 5, repeat steps 1 to 4 for the other player. And then step 6, any entry with all the numbers underlined. Yung kailangan lahat ni underline, then that is the NE, the Nash equilibrium. Okay? So madali lang tong tingnan pag ganito napakasimple lang. No? So steps 1 and 2, assume you are person number 1. Given na si person 2 pinili yung action C, ano yung best choice ni person 1? Okay, ulit. Ikaw si person 1. Pinili ni person 2 yung action C. Ano yung best choice mo? Okay? So, pag pinili ni action C, natural ang best choice mo ay action B. Kasi 12 ka dun. Samantalang sa action A, 10 ka lang. Right? Yun yun. So, pag ganun na nangyari, lalagyan mo ng underline yung 12. Kasi dun ka naging, yun yung better option. Ngayon, let's say naman pinili mo ang action D. Pinili ng person number 2 action D. What is your best choice? So it's either 10, 1, or 8, 3. Pag pinili mo syempre yung action A, 8 ka lang dun. Pag pinili mo yung action B, 10 ka dun. Right? So since 10 is greater than 8, then you have to choose and underline number 10. Ayan, so meron ng underline sa 12 saka si 10, di ba? So parehong action B yun, no? So now, step number 5 na tayo. Let's assume that you are person number 2. O ikaw yung person number 2. At pinili ni person 1 ng A. Siya pumili ng A. Ano ang best scenario sa'yo? So kung pinili mo ang A, mamimili ka between 2 and then 3. Kasi sa action A, 2 ka sa action C, at then action D, 3 ka. Since mas malaki yung 3 sa 2, mas pipiliin mo yung action D. So underline na natin ang number 3. Okay? Which boxes have underlines under both numbers? So pag pinili, siyempre, ulitin natin din yung pag pinili ni person 1 naman ang B, pinili niya yung B, right? Alin ang mas malaki, yung 4 or yung 1? Natural, ang pipiliin mo 4 kasi mas malaki yung 4 sa 1. So therefore, may underline din yung 4. So makikita ninyo, alin daw box ang merong underline sa both numbers? 'Di ba? Dalawang underline sa both numbers is action B and action C. So, yung 12.4, yan lang yung may dalawang underline. Yan ang NE. Yan ang tinatawag natin na Nash equilibrium, which returns the best for both practitioners. Okay, so double check. What if person 1 deviates from the NE? Bawa, hindi niya piniling action B, pumunta siya sa A. Diba? Pag pinili niya yung A, he will get 10. Diba? Person 1 is lowering by deviating. Diba? So, kung ikaw naman si person 2, pinili mo si 4, right? Pag pumunta ka sa action C, diba? Pag pumunta ka sa action D, 1, nalugi ka na naman. Diba? So, ang ibig sabihin, talagang ang Nash equilibrium dyan would be action B for person 1 and then action C for person number 2. So, ito yon, no? What if person 2 deviates from the NE, the Nash equilibrium? Instead of 4, he will get 1, therefore lowering again the payout. Yan. So now, what is the meaning of dominant strategy? Actually, isa to sa mga term doon, no? With Nash equilibrium. The dominant strategy, the strategy is dominant if that choice is definitely made no matter what the other person chooses. So, ang example dyan would be, si person 1 has a dominant strategy of choosing B. Diba? kahit anong pinili kasi ni person 2, B pa rin siya eh, right? So, pag pinili niya yung action C, si person number 2, B siya. Pag pinili niya action D, B pa rin siya. So, yun yung tinatawag na dominant strategy. Okay, new example. Ayan, bago example to. Suppose this example, two people are simultaneously going to decide on this game. Okay, we will go through the same steps na naman kanina of determining the Nash equilibrium. Okay, so pinili natin ang yes, at tayo yung person 1. Pinili natin yung yes, no? Ay, sorry. Pag pinili pala, person tayo ha. Pag pinili ni person 2 ang yes, saan tayo pupunta? Yes siya, no? So, since 20 is greater than 10, di yes tayo. Underline natin yung yes. Yes, yes. No? Parang yes sa person 1, yes sa person 2. Pag pinili naman ni person 2 ang no, so dun tayo sa may vertical na yun. No? Pag pinili niya ang no, since pareho lang yung since pareho yung ng payout sa no, parehong 10, ikaw naman ngayon na mamimili. Saan ka? Pag yes ang pinili mo, 5 ka lang. Pag no, pinili mo 10 ka. So, pipili mo syempre yung 10. Right? So, again, meron kang yes, yes, tapos meron kang no, no. Ganon, no? Ganon, sabi. Ngayon, kung ikaw naman si person number 2, pinili ni person 1 ang yes, 20 siya, di ba? Yes, yes. Pag pinili mo ang yes, 20-20 ka. Pag pinili mo ang no, 10 ka lang. 5 siya. So, syempre, pipiliin mo ang yes, yes. So, pareho nang may underline yung yes, yes. Pag pinili naman ni person number 1 ang no, so, sumaba tayo, anong mas malaki? Yung 5 na red o yung 10 na red? Syempre, pipiliin mo yung no. Yung red na 10. So, with that, makikita natin, parehong may underline yung yes, yes, parehong may underline yung no, no. So, dito sa example na to, yes, yes is more efficient kasi mas mataas yung pareho din ng payout, pero we have no way to predict which outcome will actually occur. Yung yes, yes is more efficient, pero pwede nang piliin yung no, no, di ba? Parehong 10-10. Di ba? So, it depends really on the situation. Yan. So, there is a point, there is an absolute probability na merong multiple NE. So, yan ang pwede mangyari yan, no? Economic theory tells us little about which outcome occurs with certainty kahit na merong multiple Nash equilibrium. Additional information or actions may help to determine the outcome. If people could act sequentially instead of simultaneously, we could see that 2020 would occur in an equilibrium. So kung sequence lang, no, hindi yung sabay silang pipili, natural, pipiliin nila yung 2020 kasi pareho yung best situation for them. No? So sequential decisions. Suppose that decisions can be made sequentially. Yung ito muna, first muna, and then second. Then we can work backwards to determine how people will behave. Ito na yung decision analysis dun sa equilibrium. So we will examine the last decision first, then work towards the first decision. To do this, we will use the decision tree. Doon sa software na POMQ, meron ito, no? Decision analysis, decision tree. So dito, nakikita naman natin, let's say person 2 chooses yes, 2020, no? Letter B. Then person 1 chooses yes. If person 2 chooses no, 510. Person 1 chooses yes. Or person 2 chooses yes, then 5. Person 1 chooses no. Or person 2 chooses no. Then person 1 chooses no. Makikita natin dyan that at given point B, person 2 will choose yes. No? Pag given yung point B, kasi nga 20 is greater than 10. No? Yung person number 2, yung nakalagay na red dyan, pipiliin niya yung yes kasi mas mataas yung 20 sa 10. Pag pinigay naman yung point C, person 2 will choose no kasi 10 is greater than 5. Di ba? Yung parehong pula. 10 is greater than 5. Okay? So, decision 3 in a sequential game, person 1 chooses first. So, sa person 1 ang rational, she will ignore potential choices that person 2 will not make. Siyempre, hindi niya pipiliin yung chooses no, saka yung chooses yes, kasi yan po ay parehong lesser ang magiging outcome for person number 2. So, siyempre, pipiliin lang niya yung person 2 choosing yes, person 2 choosing no. So, person 2 will not choose yes after person chooses no. Okay? So, pag nagpili na siya ng no si person 1, hindi na pipiliin ni person 2 ang yes kasi nga mas mababa yung payout niya ron. So, dyan yung nangyayari ng ating Nash equilibrium. So, decision 3 in a sequential game, person 1 chooses first. If person 1 chooses or knows that person 2 is rational, then she will choose yes since 20 is greater than 10. So, pag pinili ni person 2 yung yes, natural pipiliin niya yung yes din kasi nga 20-20 yun. 20 is greater than 10. Therefore, hindi na mag-aaksaya ng oras, he will choose 20. If person 2 naman makes a decision from point B, diba, he will choose yes also. The payout is 20-20. Ayan. So, napansin natin, no, sa game theory, there are simultaneous decisions that lead to the Nash equilibrium. And then, sequential decisions, some Nash equilibrium may not occur if people are rational. So, there are many other ways to make use of this in games. Ito yung mga bagay na napag-aaralan dito, no? Sa basketball, sa chess, lalo sa chess, no, game theory, sa pagpili ng whether mag-draw ka pa ba ng card o hindi na. Sa hockey, because you are either going to the left or to the right, papas ka ba o papalo. Yan, sa football, di ba? So, all of those are making use of what we call the game theory. Pero alam nyo ba, itong idea ng game theory, mahirap intindihin to kasi some people, especially nung pinitinuro ko to sa PhD class, some people don't understand why would we consider the decision of others. So, di ba, parang sinasabi nga nila, ang comparative, uh, parang yung comparative advantage, or so to speak, yung advantage, siyempre ang pipiliin mo, what is best for you. Why would you consider the argument of the other or what that person will do? Samantalang sa totoong buhay, hindi naman nangyayari yun, no? Kaya nga po, minsan, mahirap explain ang Nash equilibrium in this case, no? Pero the more you get into the idea of things, the more you will realize na, okay, may sense pala yun. Example, no, na nagbibigay ng, marami ako example actually nito, no? And in fact, I could spend another lecture explaining what is Nash equilibrium in things, no? But example lang nito, no? Na ginawa to ng mga mafia. Hindi maganda example ko, pero it makes sense. Okay? Yung mafia noong 1930s, um, with Lucky Luciano, if you're familiar with that, ang ginawa nila, instead na maglaban-laban sila, yung five, no? Families in New York, imbis na maglaban-laban sila sa territory, ang ginawa nila, naggawa sila ng commission. Parang, okay, we will keep the peace. Instead of us quarreling against each other, we will, we will just hold the peace and then hati-hatiin natin itong mga areas na to. Kasi kung hindi, di ba, ang gagawin sa natural tendency of things is that, itong five families, they will fight against each other. Tapos ang gagawin ng FBI, they will just let it happen because yung five, magiging four, di ba? Mawawala yung mga families one by one, magiging 3, magiging 2. The longer the war continues, maraming bad blood, in the end, it will only be left with one super powerful family. Mag-isa ka na lang, you can easily be, removed by the police. Kasi madali kang tingnan eh. Kasi isa ka lang, right? So what they did was a cooperation instead of competition. And that's what necessarily, when you look at it, that's what Nash equilibrium is all about. Ako nga, example ko pa dito, yung nagda-drive ka di ba? If you're trying to pursue your own gain, nagda-drive ka, you don't care about what other people might say, it will result in an accident. Kasi alam mo, ipupush mo yung iyong right of way. Natatandaan ko nga to, sa Toyota, there was a mention of this from my old boss ng HR. Sabi niya sa akin, alam mo, ang ibig sabihin ng Toyota safety, is you make it safe not only for yourself, but for the people who may or may not know how to be safe around you. So, ibig sabihin, if you have the right of way, don't push it. Kumbaga, huwag mo ipipilit na, bakit ako dapat di ba? Kasi pag pinilit mo yan, siya, ganun din, ang ending, it's bad for both of you kasi you have to stop. Somebody is in an accident. So, therefore, you have to stop. So, lalo kayong matatagalan. Right? Samantalang kung ginawa nyo, nagbigayan kayo, di ba? Yun yung mas maganda. So, if you will look at it, sabi nga ng mga ibang estudyante kung tinuro ko to first hand, sabi nila, Sir, ito po bang Nash equilibrium? Does it reflect itself in competition of companies or talagang para sa policy makers lang to? Yan. So yung mga tanong kasi minsan iisip mo, ano, aside from those examples, ah ano yung magandang example to to explain how Nash equilibrium works na tipong you really consider the choice of the other to be at an equilibrium point that is efficient and best for everyone in the transaction. Kasi sa totoo lang, buhay, ito yung sinasabi ko sa totoo lang, you don't, lalo na sa no, sa business, you don't go out and try to run them out of business. Like, for example, no, sa mutually beneficial supplier relationship. Ayan, marami sa inyo sa business. Pag ang ginawa mo, sabi sa ISO, pag ang ginawa mo is gusto mo laging low ball, gusto mo mababa dapat ang presyo, baba dapat ang presyo. Ang ending nun, you are actually running them out of business. So anong gusto mo? Ikaw ang kumita, sila hindi. So pag ginawa mo yon, they will be out of business. And then in the end, what will happen to you? You don't have a supplier. So what will you do? You will source out another supplier because your one honest, merong integrity na supplier, he can no longer do business kasi you're always bidding low ball bids to them. And that's the reason why they run out of money, right? Samantalang if you will make them, you know, uh, earn money, be profitable, then if they're profitable, you're also profitable because you allow for a continuous flow of materials, of raw materials. And then eventually, doon kayo mag-uusap, no? O, baba mo ng konti to kasi matagal na tayo sa business together. Diba? So parang ganun yung idea. Ganun din yan sa card game. Diba? So parang iisipin mo na, why would they, for example, commit such blunders? Even sa chess, ganun, no? Alam mo naman na parang hindi ka umaasa na, hindi niya makikita yan, mapo-4 moves kasi hindi ganun. Of course, they will also create a position that is best for them. So the only way that you are better is you assume that they're going to make the best moves. Hindi yung you hope that they will make the worst moves. So ang ibig sabihin is you always, take charge of your own destiny and di ba? Don't wish that they will make a mistake. Kasi they are also looking after your own business. So, ganun yung idea ng Nash equilibrium. Kaya nga, it also is effective in uh, negotiations. Diba? Sa lahat ng yan, no? So, what will happen if he goes left? What will happen? If he goes right, what will happen? So, ang mga successful people, successful business is assuming that the company doesn't make mistakes. Diba? Kumbaga, if he chooses the most profitable decision point, then what will happen to me? What will I do to make also my business profitable? Parang ganun yung idea. You don't assume or you don't hope that they will make a mistake and, in the end, you will run them out of business. Kasi in the end, kumbaga, parang mas okay pa rin that the business is thriving. Parang yung idea ng, halimbawa, no, you are in, ito, hindi, maraming di nakakalampan nito, no? When yung Libis, alam niyo yung Libis area, no? Dati, walang katao-tao yan. In fact, kapulan nga ng mga nasa salvage yan eh. Pero when it started out na marami nang nandoon, marami nang businesses, so what happened? So, dami na nagtatayo, so you become profitable. So imagine for a moment that your idea is to run them out of business, yung ikaw ang pinaka-profitable. So one by one, nasasara na sila. So what will happen to the business? So pag wala nang tao ron, wala nang mga businesses, then no one will also go there. So in the end, you also suffer. So again, mass equilibrium. So it has to be in equilibrium with everybody, especially the market that you are thriving in.